Hello guys, how are you doing? Throughout this chapter, we have talked extensively about motion occurring in a straight line. So it's time we take a turn. Welcome to the topic of circular motion or motion occurring in a straight line. So, two things first. In the beginning of this chapter, I told you that circular motion cannot take place in one dimension or in a straight line. And that still stands true. So, this video is also sort of like a stepping stone for you into the world of motion occurring in a plane or in two dimensions. Secondly, from your previous standards, you know a lot about circles, their properties, and objects moving around them. So, this video's concept should be sort of like a walk in the park for you. So, without wasting a single second and keeping these two things in mind, let's begin our video today. Let's begin with a simple question. Suppose an object moves uniformly around a circular path such that it completes 2 revolutions every 10 seconds. Now, the circle in question has a radius of 2 meters. Now, given this, I want you to calculate the speed of the moving object. So, are you ready? Your time starts now. Great! Let's see how many of you got your answers correct. So according to the problem, the object undergoes 2 revolutions around the circle every 10 seconds. So the distance travelled by the object is nothing but 2 times the circumference of the circle itself. Now what is the value of circumference? Nothing but 2 pi r. So the distance covered by the object is simply 2 times 2 pi r. Now the radius of the circle r is 2 meters. So once you plug that value in, the value for distance comes out to be 25.13 meters. Now, this is an approximate value because we have taken the value of pi as 3.14, which is an approximate value of pi itself. Now, once we know the value of distance, we can easily calculate the value of speed by using the formula speed is equal to total distance upon total time. So, total distance is 25.13 meters and total time is 10 seconds. The speed comes out to be 2.513 meters per second. So essentially, we can say that the object travels at a constant speed of 2.513 meters per second. But can we say the same thing about its velocity? Can we say that the object travels at a constant velocity of 2.513 meters per second? Probably not right away, because we know that velocity is in fact a vector quantity. And for velocity to be constant, both its magnitude and direction should be constant. So, what do you think about the direction of our revolving object? Is it changing or is it constant? I want you to take a good look at this and try to figure it out for yourself. Is the direction changing or is it constant? Take some time and think about it. So, all of you who think yes, the direction of the moving object is changing, I must say you are correct. In a circular motion, the revolving object changes its direction at every instant. To get a better understanding of what I'm saying, consider this illustration. So let's assume that instead of traveling around a circular path, our object travels around a triangular path of the same perimeter. Now if I say that the object goes around the entire boundary of the triangle once, how many times do you think it changes its direction? Well, clearly 3 times, right? Once at each vertex. You can see that for yourself. Now assume that instead of a triangular path, the object instead goes around a square path of the same perimeter. So how many times do you think it changes its direction now? Well, clearly 4 times, once at each vertex of the square. Around a pentagonal path of the same perimeter, it will change its direction 5 times. Around a hexagonal path, 6 times. Around a heptagonal path, 7 times. And so on. Now consider this. A regular polygon with 20 sides, also called an icosagon. So if our object goes around this icosagon once, how many times do you think it will change its direction? Of course 20 times, once at each vertex. Now, to an unsuspecting eye, this icosagon might pass as a circle. It's not quite a circle, but to many unsuspecting people, it might look like a circle. So this means that if I take polygons of higher orders, like the one with 30 sides, 50 sides or even 100 sides, they look closer and closer to a circle. Now imagine a polygon with infinite number of sides yet a fixed perimeter. Now that polygon would clearly look like a perfect circle, right? So if our particle or object goes around that polygon once, the one with infinite number of sides, how many times do you think it will change its direction? Well, of course, infinite number of times. You got it. So circle is essentially a polygon with infinite number of sides. And when an object goes around it, it changes its direction at every instant. Therefore, we essentially understood that for an object undergoing circular motion, its direction changes at every moment. Now tell me, if the direction of an object changes every moment, how can it have a constant velocity? Right? Therefore, remember, when an object undergoes circular motion, even when its speed is constant, its velocity always changes at every moment. Therefore, circular motion is actually an example of accelerated motion, because acceleration is nothing but change in velocity with respect to time. Because in a circular motion, velocity changes every moment. That's why there is a constant acceleration present here. Now that was a box of surprises, wasn't it? So before we end this video, let's solve a simple problem that involves concepts of circular motion. And the problem goes like this. An ant was moving along a circular path of radius 100 millimeters. It started at a point A and took 2 minutes to go to point B, which was diametrically opposite to point A. Now, given these facts, you are supposed to calculate the distance traveled by the ant in meters, the speed of the ant in meters per second, the magnitude of displacement of the ant in meters, and the magnitude of average velocity in meters per second. Now take some time and try to get right answers for all of these. Okay guys, it's time to see the solution now. But before we solve anything, let's draw a diagram of the ant's path. So as you can see, the ant begins moving at point A, goes around a circular path, and arrives at point B, which is diametrically opposite to point A. Now from the diagram, you can directly see that the ant has traveled half the perimeter or half the circumference of the circle. So distance covered by the ant is nothing but circumference of the circle divided by 2, which comes out to be 2 pi r divided by 2. Now once you plug in the value of r here, which is 0.1 meters, then the value of distance comes out to be approximately 0.314 meters. Now once we know the value of distance, we can easily calculate the value of speed using the formula speed is equal to distance upon time. The problem has already given us the value of time taken by the ant to go around half the circle, which was 2 minutes. So once we put the values, we get 0.314 meters divided by 2 minutes. But hey, the answer is expected in meters per second from us, right? So we'll convert minutes into seconds by multiplying 2 by 60. So ultimately, our result comes out to be 0.00261 meters per second. Now what do you think about the magnitude of displacement of the ant? Is it same as the distance or is it different? Well, for that, let's recall the definition of displacement that you learned earlier in this chapter. So displacement is essentially the shortest straight line distance between any 2 points in question. Now here, the points in question are the starting and the ending points of the ant's journey, which is point A and point B. And what is the shortest straight line distance between them? Well, it's a line that goes through the diameter of the circle. So the displacement of the ant is nothing but the length of the diameter of the circle, which is 2 times r or 2 times 0.1 meters, ultimately coming out to be 0.2 meters. Now once we know the value of displacement, is it hard to find the magnitude of average velocity? Well, not at all, because the formula for average velocity is total displacement upon total time. The value of total displacement here is 0.2 meters and the value of total time is 2 times 60 seconds. Now once we calculate this expression, the result comes out to be 0.00166 meters per second. So the magnitude of average velocity of the ant is 0.00166 meters per second. So guys, that's it for today. I hope you had a good time learning about the concepts of circular motion. Let's summarize whatever we have learned so far. Motion along a circular path always occurs in a plane. The direction of an object moving in a circular path changes every moment. Therefore, even if the speed of the object is constant, its velocity continuously changes. That's why circular motion is an example of constantly accelerated motion. The magnitudes of distance and displacement are not always equal for an object undergoing circular motion.